Are Igbo billionaires self-made or system-made? For years, the story has been simple. Igbo billionaires are self-made. They rose from nothing. They built wealth through trade, grit, and community systems. No government help, no political godfathers. It is a story many Nigerians admire, a story many young people believe in, a story that has inspired millions to hustle. But recently, that story has been shaken, not destroyed, but questioned. When news broke that Obi Kubana, one of the most visible Igbo billionaires of this generation, had been named Southeast Zonal Coordinator by Sheyi Tinubu, the son of Nigeria's president. The reactions were instant. Some celebrated, some were confused, some were angry, some asked quiet questions, and one big question rose above all others. Are Igbo billionaires truly self-made? Or were some of them system-made all along? This is not a trial. It is not an accusation. It is a conversation Nigeria needs to have. Because when money meets power, the lines become blurry. Obi Kubana's rise is well known. From nightlife and hospitality to entertainment and lifestyle branding, his success story has been used as a modern example of Igbo entrepreneurial brilliance. He became more than a businessman. He became a symbol, a cultural figure, a rallying point. Especially after his mother's burial, which many Nigerians still describe as one of the most extravagant private events ever witnessed in the Southeast, Obi Kubana's image expanded. He was no longer just wealthy, he was influential. But influence attracts attention, and attention attracts politics. So when his name appeared in connection with a political coordination role, especially one linked to the president's son, it triggered something deeper than gossip. It triggered identity questions. For decades, Igbo success has been framed as independent of the Nigerian political system. While other regions were accused of building wealth through government access, Igbo wealth was seen as market-driven, trade-based, grassroots. That belief became a source of pride. So when an Igbo billionaire steps into a visible political structure, people naturally ask, is this a new phase? Or was this always the plan? Some supporters argue that this appointment changes nothing. They say Obi Kubana is simply exercising his civic right, that businessmen everywhere eventually engage with politics. That influence without political voice is incomplete. They argue that joining or aligning with political structures does not erase a person's past, that a man can be self-made and still choose to participate in governance, and they are not wrong. Across the world, billionaires eventually interact with power. Wealth attracts politics, the way gravity attracts mass. At a certain level, you either influence policy or policy influences you. From that angle, Obi Kubana's move looks strategic, not suspicious. But critics are not convinced. Some ask uncomfortable questions. If he is truly self-made, why now? Why this role? Why this proximity to presidential power? Is this a case of alignment for protection, expansion, future ambition, or worse? Was access to the system always part of the journey, just hidden from public view? These questions don't come from hatred. They come from fear. Fear that the self-made narrative Nigerians cling to may be incomplete. Fear that success stories we believed were purely grassroots may have had unseen ladders. Fear that politics still controls everything, even what we thought was independent. Among Igbo people, reactions have been especially intense. Some feel betrayed. They believed Igbo billionaires stood apart from Nigerian political games, that they succeeded despite the system, not because of it. Seeing one of their most prominent figures appear within that system feels to them like crossing a line. Others feel proud. They argue that Igbo people have stayed away from national power for too long, that economic success without political relevance leaves a vacuum, that if Igbo billionaires don't step into politics, others will make decisions for them. To this group, Obi Kubana's role is not selling out, it is stepping up. Then there is a quieter group, those who are simply watching. They are not angry, they are not celebrating, they are analyzing. They are asking whether the old categories still make sense. Maybe the world is no longer divided into self-made and system-made. Maybe wealth today exists on a spectrum where survival requires navigating both market forces and political realities. This brings us to the bigger issue. What does self-made really mean in Nigeria? Does it mean you never interact with government? Does it mean you never benefit indirectly from policies? Does it mean you avoid politics forever? Or does it simply mean you didn't start with power but may eventually meet it? Because no billionaire anywhere in the world operates in a vacuum. Licenses matter, regulations matter, security matters, stability matters, and all of these are controlled by the system. So perhaps the real question is not whether Igbo billionaires are self-made or system-made, but when the system enters the picture. For many Igbo businessmen, the system comes late, after the hustle, after the risk, after the capital has been built the hard way. For others, critics argue, the system may have been present earlier, quietly, indirectly, invisibly. The Obi Kubana conversation has forced Nigerians to confront this uncomfortable grey area. It has also revealed something deeper about trust. Many young Nigerians are desperate for proof that success is possible without selling your soul to power. That hard work can still win. That integrity still matters. When figures who symbolize that hope appear to align with political structures, people feel shaken, not because politics is evil, but because hope is fragile. At the same time, it is unfair to freeze people in time. No one remains the same forever. Growth changes roles. Scale changes responsibilities. A man who once focused on survival may later focus on influence. A businessman who once avoided politics may later realize that disengagement has costs. The danger is not in asking these questions. The danger is in refusing to ask them. Because blindly worshipping wealth is just as dangerous as blindly rejecting it. So where does this leave us? It leaves us with complexity. Igbo billionaires are not one thing. They are not one story. They are not one method. Some are almost entirely market-built. Some are system-adjacent. Some evolve over time. And Obi Kubana's recent political association, whether symbolic or substantive, has simply brought this reality into the open. The bigger lesson is this: we must stop simplifying success. Not every wealthy person is a villain. Not every billionaire is a hero. Not every political connection erases hard work. But neither should power relationships go unquestioned. For the Igbo community, this moment is an invitation not to fight each other, but to reflect. What kind of power do we want? What kind of representation do we trust? And how do we protect the values of hard work, independence, and community while navigating a political system that often demands compromise? For Nigeria as a whole, it is a reminder that wealth and politics are never fully separate. They dance, they collide, they influence each other. The real danger is not alignment. The real danger is silence. Because when we stop asking questions, power stops explaining itself. So are Igbo billionaires self-made or system-made? The honest answer may be uncomfortable. Some are self-made first and system-aware later. And the future will depend on how responsibly they handle that transition.